night is giving up, it's almost through. 4 AM is a heavy hour. Sinking into the indigo fade, watching the shadows start to trade. Can't sleep yet. Don't wanna leave this rooftop or forget how quiet the world can actually be. Sinking into the indigo fade, watching the shadows start to trade. Making a path for the upcoming sun. It's the edge of tomorrow, you know. The birds aren't singing, the streets are dead, just the rhythm spinning inside my head. Sinking into the indigo fade, watching the shadows start to trade. Everything is painted in a purple hue, a secret color meant for just us two, before the golden hour ruins it. Sinking into the indigo flame, watching the shadows start to trade. Places with the morning light. Turn the dial until the music breaks into the silence that the evening makes, waiting for a voice to call. Listening to the silent radio, watching the desert flowers grow in the middle of pulsing like a light up map, trying to fill in every single gap between the here and now. No more broadcast, no more news, just the rhythm we can't refuse. Listening to the silent radio, watching the desert flowers grow in the middle of the dark. The final song is a ghost of a sound, safe in the quiet we finally found. The radio's off, but I still hear it. Listening to the silent radio, watching the desert flowers grow in the middle of the dark. The heat finally broke about an hour ago. The temperature is starting to really drop low. Wrapping up in this oversized sweater. Catching that sweet midnight shiver. Watching the distant skyline quiver. Frozen in the best way. Concrete is holding on to yesterday's sun, but the cold air means the night has won. Breath is fogging up the view, right? Catching that sweet midnight shiver. Watching the distant skyline quiver. Frozen in the best way. Goosebumps rising on my bare arms. Safe up here from the city alarms. The bass is keeping the blood warm. Teeth are chattering right on the beat. Numbing the fingers, numbing the feet. Catching that sweet midnight shiver. Watching the distant skyline quiver. Frozen in the best way. Could go inside where the air is stale, but out here we're telling a different tale. Embracing the total chill. Catching that sweet midnight shiver. Watching the distant skyline quiver. Frozen in the best way. It's freezing but my mind is crystal clear. Washed away every single leftover fear. I'll take the cold over the noise any day. Catching that sweet midnight shiver. Watching the distant skyline quiver. Frozen in the best way. Watching the highway from the very top, looking at the cars that never stop. Where is everybody going? Just be still. Got the rooftop and this frequency. We've already arrived. Vision 100 miles out, casting shadows of a silent doubt. Can smell the rain from here, right? Catching the ozone drift tonight, waiting for the atmosphere to shift. Heavy in the velvet dark, total must. Watching the clouds roll in, catching the ozone drift tonight, waiting for the atmosphere to shift, heavy in the velvet dark. Not a single drop is going to fall on us, just the static of the cosmic fuzz. It's electric, you know. Thunder rolling deep in the sub-bass line. Everything out there is doing just fine. Catching the ozone drift tonight, waiting for the atmosphere to shift, heavy in the velvet dark. The storm is stars, but the energy stayed, washing away every plan we made. I'm so glad we didn't run inside. Catching the ozone drift tonight, waiting for the atmosphere to shift, heavy in the velvet dark. Lightning flashing 100 miles out, casting shadow, you're the silent doubt. Can smell the rain from here, right? Catching the ozone drift tonight, waiting for the atmosphere to shift, heavy in the velvet dark. The wind is kicking up the rooftop dust, but sitting on the sledge is a total must. Watching the clouds rolling, catching the ozone drift tonight, waiting for the atmosphere to shift, heavy in the velvet dark. watching 100 miles out. Lightning flashing 100 miles out. Lightning flashing, lightning flashing. Lightning flashing, lightning flashing. Lightning flashing 100 miles out. Lightning flashing 100 miles out. Lightning flashing 100 miles out. Lightning flashing, lightning flashing. Floating high above the desert floor. I don't think I've felt this way before. Watching the world spin round. Singing a satellite lullaby, orbiting slow in the purple sky. Witnessing wide awake. The mountains look like a jagged line, drawn by a hand that isn't mine. Just a glitch in the atmosphere. Singing a satellite lullaby, orbiting slow in the purple sky. Weightless and wide awake. Data streaming through the midnight air, falling like a prayer to nowhere. Can you hear the signal rise? Zero gravity in the chest. Finally finding a place to rest. Singing a satellite lullaby, orbiting slow in the purple sky. Weightless and wide awake. A blinking light on the dark horizon, while the silver moon is slowly rising over the edge of the world. Particles dancing in the headlight beam, lost in the middle of a waking dream. Everything's a bit hazy, you know. Sifting through the neon dust tonight, searching for a frequency that's right in the glow of the station. The vending machine has a lonely hum, waiting for the morning light to come and break the spell we're under. Sifting through the neon dust tonight, searching for a frequency that's right in the glow of the station. Electric blue on the canyon wall, waiting for the world to start to fall into the deep dark sub. Static in the lungs, fire in the veins, washing away the city stains. Sifting through the neon dust tonight, searching for a frequency that's right in the glow of the station. Check the mirror for a familiar face, but I'm just a visitor in this space, moving through the light. Sifting through the neon dust tonight, searching for a frequency that's right in the glow of the Sifting through the neon dust tonight, searching for a frequency that's right in the glow of the station. Metallic tang in the cooling air, running fingers through tangled hair. The horizon's bleeding out, right under the copper, over the gray, watching the heavy light wash away into the desert floor. back, just the pose of the rim too. Flicker of a flame in a distant window, watching the evening start to billow. Feel the heat of the sub-bass moving beneath our feet. The day is dead and we're alive. Under the carpet, over the grave, watching the heavy light wash away into the desert floor. Wondering if anyone is actually there, or if I'm just a shadow. Just a rooftop ghost in a neon town, waiting for the stars to settle down, floating on the baseline. The gravel crunches under my weight, watching the hour getting really late. 2 a.m. feels like forever. Just a rooftop ghost in a neon town, waiting for the stars to settle down, floating on the baseline. Looking down at the empty street, where the shadows and the pavement meet. The silence is so loud, you know. The air is thin and the world is wide. Nowhere left for the heart to hide. Just a rooftop ghost in a neon town, waiting for the stars to settle down, floating on the baseline. A distant siren, a lonely plane, cutting through the desert like a stain. Then the crawl, the cleanse. A distant siren, a lonely plane, cutting through the desert like a stain. And the choir returns. Just a rooftop ghost in a neon town, waiting for the stars to settle down, floating on the baseline. I'm fading now with the morning light, but I'm keeping the peace I found tonight. A ghost until the sun comes up. Just a rooftop ghost in low and rolling like a dune in the dark, searching the sky for a single spark, buried in the warmth, lower than the ocean, deeper than the sand, something I can finally understand. In the weight of the sun, footprints filling with the falling dust, in the frequency we trust to carry us home, right? Lower than the ocean, deeper than the sand, something I can finally understand. In the weight of the sun, the world is screaming but the beat is calm, a digital medicine, a sonic bomb for the static in the soul. Vibrating through the soles of my feet, making the stillness feel complete. Lower than the ocean, deeper than the sand, something I can finally understand. In the weight of the sun, moonlight hitting the speaker cone, the sweetest sound I've ever known, tuned to the desert floor. Lower than the ocean, deeper than the sand, something I can finally understand. In the weight of the sun, covered in the rhythm, head to toe, letting the rest of the world go. This is the only place I know. Lower than the ocean, deeper than the sand, something I can finally understand. In the weight of the sun. Is it a lake or just a trick of the light, shimmering back in the middle of the night, thirsty for something real? Living in a velvet mirage tonight, drowning in the violet and the white, beautiful and hollow. The wind is whispering through the vents, making a song out of past events. Do you hear the lyrics too? Living in a velvet mirage tonight, drowning in the violet and the white, beautiful and hollow. blur. Nothing is solid, nothing is deep, just a promise we didn't keep. Living in a velvet mirage tonight, drowning in the violet and your white, beautiful and hollow. Reach out a hand and the vision breaks, counting the ripples the sub-bass makes, moving through the dark. Living in a velvet mirage tonight, drowning in the violet and your white, beautiful and hollow. The desert turns to gray. The dream is better than the day. Living in a velvet mirage tonight, running in the violet and the white, beautiful and hollow. Suitcase open on the bedroom floor. Don't wanna carry that weight anymore. Leaving the pieces where they fall. Unpack the silence, breathe in the blue. Everything's different, everything's new. Polaroids in a tangled wire. Throwing the ghost in a digital fire. Clearing the space in my head, you know. Unpack the silence, breathe in the blue. Everything's different, everything's new. Stripping it back to the core of the sound. Feet finally touching the solid ground. Unpack the silence, breathe in the blue. Everything's different, everything's new. Traffic down below, moving like a river of gold. empty, and that's okay. The shadows are washing the noise away. I'm finally light enough to fly. Unpack the silence, breathe in the blue. Everything's different, everything's new. In the midnight light. Raising the home of the power line, watching the heat waves bend the signs. Everything's moving so slow, right? Static in the wire, pulse in the sand, electricity slipping through my hand, caught in the kinetic glow. The radio's catching a ghost of a tune under the curve of a paper moon, lost in the signal between. Static in the wire, pulse in the sand, electricity slipping through my hand, caught in the kinetic glow. Wait for the sparks to hit the ground, the only rhythm for miles around. Can you feel the frequency? Currents running through the rooftop floor. We don't need the city anymore. Static in the wire, pulse in the sand, electricity slipping through my hand, caught in the kinetic glow. Neon flickering out on the edge, sitting right here on the concrete ledge, watching the voltage drop. Static in the wire, pulse in the sand, electricity slipping through my hand, caught in the kinetic glow. The air is heavy with the coming storm, keeping the memory of the sunlight warm. We're finally grounded here. Static in the wire, pulse in the sand, electricity slipping through my hand, caught in the kinetic glow. Silver lines on the edge of the sky, tracing the static where the satellites fly. Just us and the cooling concrete, right? searching for a frequency we couldn't find. Between the sand and the neon glow. Hold the breath, let the world go thin. Where the desert ends and the stars begin. Weightless in the velvet air. Pulse of the bass like a heart under skin. Letting the silence finally sink in. No words needed for the view, you know. Glass stone shattering in slow motion. Falling deep into a violet ocean. Hold the breath, let the world go thin. Where the desert ends and the stars begin. Weightless in the velvet air. Fingertips tracing the cold metal rail. Watching the daylight start to fail. Everything feels so quiet now. Hold the breath, let the world go thin. Where the desert ends and the stars begin. Weightless in the velvet air. Finally still, finally wide awake. In the ghost of the breath we didn't take. The horizon is ours to keep. Hold the breath, let the world go thin. Where the desert ends and the stars begin. Weightless in the velvet air. Leaning on the rusted metal wire. Watching the last of the daytime fire. We're picking up a different wavelength, right? Hooked up to the twilight antenna. Drowning out the noise of the era. Just catching the pulse of the sky. The city below is a grid of light. But we're completely unplugged tonight. Finding out what the silence sounds like. Hooked up to the twilight antenna. Drowning out the noise of the era. Just catching the pulse of the sky. Humming along with the satellite dish. The one and the old beat is our only wish. It's a digital kind of peace, you know. Nothing to prove and nowhere to be. Anchored right here in the gravity. Hooked up to the twilight antenna. Drowning out the noise of the era. Just catching the pulse of the sky. The air is getting sharp and thin. Letting the atmosphere the pressure in. Erasing every single word we said. The air is getting sharp and thin. You're in the atmosphere, the pressure in. Erasing every single word we said. Hooked up to the twilight antenna. Drowning out the noise of just catching the pulse of the sky. Every thought is finally gone. We can stay up here until the dawn. I've never felt so perfectly aligned. Hooked up to the Twilight Antenna, drowning out the noise of the era, just catching the pulse of the sky.